Hi everyone, Amy here with amyswares, and I have a critter card to share with you. So this is a new to me stamp set from My Favorite Things. If it's still available, I'll link it below. I have my panel box here. This is a formerly chocolate box, now used for panels, and I have my critter book. So here's a photo of the finished card to show you the direction that we're headed, but I was able to pull together a bunch of pre-made components and add some stamping just to kind of pull together a one-of-a-kind card with a lot of pre-made items, so I was able to save time. Now, you probably have some sort of panel box. Maybe it's a bin. Like I said, I just use this chocolate box because it's pretty and it holds these A2 size panels perfectly, but I'm flipping through to figure out what panel I want to use. I do end up landing on that one. That appears to be it was a stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. I'll be sure to link it below. But I think I would have used some shimmer spray, and I'm guessing that's probably a monoprint that I did using the residual shimmer spray on the stencil and then just kind of stamping it down as a monoprint. So I'm pretty sure that's how I would have made that panel. I have a heart stitched piece of gray cardstock. I think that's probably a Catherine Pooler stitched die. And here I'm flipping through my critter book. So these are baseball card pocket protector sheets. I do use two variations of these between my critters and my sentiment book. I kind of use both. With my critters, I tend to use the kind that have the little flap, just because it kind of helps hold them in there better. Because if you've done this and you know if you tip your book upside down, the stuff might fall out. But with the little flap on there, it just kind of hold them in better, which I think for me tends to work better with the critter stamps just because they're a little bit smaller. Whereas I don't use those probably with the sentiments because they're bigger. But anyway, I decided to cut this panel. It's still A2 size, so I'm having to be a little precious lining it up. But I'm sandwiching in that heart because I want the heart to also get cut down to size and also have that nice stitched edge feature. So this is a little bit of a tip. If you want to kind of layer up your card, but you want it all to have matching stitched edge, then kind of create a little bit of a hinge like I did there and sandwich in your other layer in between. So it cut down the heart a little bit so it fits on that panel, and then it does still have that cool stitched feature all the way around. And I believe I used an LDRS Creative rectangle die in that case. So I will link all the available products in the video description box below. If you expand under the video where it says more and scroll down, that's where you'll find all the links. So some of these things might be discontinued, but if it is available, I will be sure to link it. And if you do follow the links, it's no additional cost to you, but it does help me out a lot. So here I'm just kind of working within the confines of my MISTI using the mint tape and the magnets to hold everything down, and I do want to use that big happy stamp. Now I'm thinking right off the bat, with it being gray, I don't want to use a dye ink necessarily because then it might just soak in and be a little bit darker than I wanted. So that's where the beauty of the Distress Oxides come in. If you aren't familiar, they are a hybrid ink, meaning they're partially dye and partially pigment. So you can layer the colors on one another and it's not going to just soak right into the paper like it would with a dye. It kind of responds more like a pigment in that way. So I'm starting with this what is it, the lilac, shaded lilac, and then I decide it's a little bit too blue, a little bit too light, so I decide I want to bring in some of the deeper, more purpley pink colors. So I think I grabbed Seedless Preserve. Now I was trying to go a little bit blended looking, but this ended up kind of messy. And I liked it, so I didn't buff it out on the stamp. You could use your blending brush or maybe like your stamp chamois if you want to kind of smooth it out. But I kind of liked the rustic look of the way the Seedless Preserve stamped on top of it because I feel like the background itself was a little bit messy with that monoprint. So I felt like it really matched. Now this stamp set is so cool because it has these sub-sentiments that you can stamp right on top of it. And I want it to be visible, so I used a nice rich black pigment ink. I have VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and I'm just going to stamp that a couple times just to put it over the happy stamp. And I think it says, "You make my heart so happy." So I have this cute Quokka stamp that is from you know what the name, oh, Cat Scrappiness, that's where that's from. She has a whole line of those adorable little critters. They're an Australian critter called a quokka, and they're super cute, and I would love to see one in real life one day. So if you've seen one, or if you've been to Australia, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious if they're as cute as they seem in all the depictions. So here I use some foam tape to pop this up. It's a 1 inch. It was the remainder of my roll. I was thinking the panel was smaller than the background, so I'm not entirely sure why I popped this up. I probably wouldn't have done that if I was thinking that it was the full panel size. I would have probably just maybe used some tear tape or something to hold it down. I don't usually pop up a whole panel off the card front like that. Wouldn't really recommend it. It doesn't really do much, but I had already done it, so we're committed. We're moving forward, right? Anyway, I attached this gray heart layer down, and again, it lined up perfectly with the stitching around the edge of the panel. And then I'm liquid gluing this cute little quokka down into the lower right of the composition, and then all that's left is going to be the blingage. So this is bling also from a Colorful Life Designs. It's relatively new to the shop. She's been carrying it for, I don't know, a handful of months now, and there's so many beautiful colors. These are little crystal packages of joy, and I have so much fun flipping through them. Honestly, I use them on most of my cards these days. I just love pulling out these containers. I get them from Amazon. I love flipping through all the colors. They make me happy. So I don't know. Do you have things in your craft room that just make you happy whether you use them or not? These are one of them, but I do use them on almost every card. And I will link the color that I used below. I added them in odd numbers, and that's going to finish the card. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, and I will catch you next time. Bye.